All right, we are live. How are you? How are you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Usually, the show usually start by like 9, but I would want us to start it a little bit early since tomorrow's Monday. Um, I usually come early to like share the link, you know,
Okay.
do small talks and things like that. And so now I'm gonna check Facebook, make sure we are actually live on my other stuff, and then I'll check YouTube and to see we're actually live on there. Let's see YouTube, and we are live on both ends. Perfect. All right, guys. So how was your week? How was your Sunday? Happy first Sunday.
Yes, today was fantastic. I had my friend wife birthday today,
Oh,
and we
nice.
celebrated that. It was so great. We went to church, and from church we went to the restaurant and had some fun time.
Nice.
I was like sleepy. I said, "No, I don't want to sleep right now. Let me find area to talk." So that was it. But it was nice today. Very nice.
Awesome. Hopefully I don't sleep on this show because I just came from eating GB, you guys.
You are not going to, the topic discussion is a hot topic, so I don't think you're going to sleep.
I don't think I will sleep. It should be interesting. It's a very, very hot topic. Guys, if you're watching, go ahead and share the show. I'm gonna go ahead and share it, and then we will introduce ourselves. We have some group chat. I'm gonna let them know that I'm officially live right now. So if they would like to come on, our panelists can come on. If not, you and I can handle this. I think we got it.
We can talk, eh? We can talk. We can talk.
Yeah. Riverside Pro said greetings from Riverside County in Wisconsin. Yeah, the man is
Ah,
in the house. It looks like when I go to Liberia, I need to visit Riverside County because Riverside Pro, you really do rep Riverside County. You don't play with it, man. You rep, you rep, you rep. That's awesome. Riverside Pro, I don't know. Tonight's topic is a hot topic. We're talking about polygamy and monogamy, which is not really a topic among modern women. I like to refer to the, what do you call it, feminist group as modern women. I don't know how that's gonna go, but while I was trying to come up with this topic and looking into it, I found there are new words that they're using now for polygamy. It's really really interesting.
what is it? What's it?
I found out instead of them calling it polygamy, now it's polyamorous. And yeah, it's like, wow, this is eye opening. We might have to talk about this topic like more because what I saw, oh my goodness.
I know, right?
Yeah, but we'll jump into it. Let me share this show really quickly.
Uh,
Oh man, I couldn't wait to come early today because I'm like, this one is interesting. Mm. So, what's the plan for the month?
well, this month I have no autonomy worry this month.
That's good.
Only to work.
I know,
Uh,
right?
yeah, I have nothing, no schedule up anywhere this month.
Awesome.
So,
I'm
so
hoping.
I'm looking up to any other activities. As about yours,
Oh wow, mine. I'm hoping like my schedule will free up most so I can have like time during the day. I thought Riverside Process, sorry. Riverside Process, he liked the polyamorous name.
I know, right? Riverside needs to come here, and I know this topic is going to be more interesting than Riverside.
For some reason, I have a feeling women are the one who came up with that polyamorous name. I don't know. I don't know how it came about, but I have a strong feeling a woman came about it because she probably thought polygamy was too heavy for a woman to handle. So again, this is just I'm just thinking out. I don't know. Man, what a
Yeah.
interesting topic. But yeah, guys, as always, I'm gonna go ahead and share the show. I ask you guys to do the same as well. Let's learn from each other and make the world a better place, right? We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. So let's see. My. But I used to ask, like, what was something amazing you did for someone, or something amazing someone did for you during the week? Can you think of one? Mr. World is
Oh yes.
watching. Greetings. It's been a minute, Mr. World. You haven't responded to my email yet. My message I sent you, Mr. World. I always call him out when he come on here. Oh man. What was something amazing somebody did for you this week, the past week? Or what was something amazing you did for somebody?
And it's this week really I was like living in Quebec and changed my location to Calgary. And I moved to a family that I never saw ever, but were part of our community.
Nice.
And the family is doing extremely well to get me grounded, to get me established. So it's been fantastic. This is a
Awesome.
lady that I never met before, and from conversation, and she said, "Oh, my brother, you can come around. I mean, here is better. You can come and do what you can do." So I moved here, and the family has been so dear to me.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's so nice. Oh wow, that's
they,
amazing.
they introduced me to the church, and the church have been so caring.
Awesome,
So
awesome,
the
awesome. That's
leadership have
good.
been there, and everything have been going so good.
Awesome. I pray everything continues to be great. Nice. You
We
guys
pray to
can
God
share
for
in the
that.
comment section too. So this week somebody did something amazing for me. It's been a crazy, crazy week at work, you know. Um I usually work a 10-hour shift, but I've been doing like 12, sometimes like 13, 14, because we're really short on management. And one of my supervisor, I was so tired, we were swamped. I don't know what happened. If the past holiday everybody went out of town and came back sick, I mean the hospital was like people was laying all in the hallway waiting for room to get in, and it was just like, wow, what happened, but the supervisor was really, really helpful. He stayed, and he was like, you've been here, boss. You've been here for, 3 days in a row, pulling all these hours. It's okay. I think we can help. We can handle this. And I was nervous to do that, but they really pulled it up. I mean, when I came back the next morning, there was no complaints and everything was perfect. So I was really, really grateful for that because I got enough sleep.
At least you have some assistant, right?
Yeah, so that was amazing. I really appreciate that. I mean, man, it can be crazy sometimes. So that was helpful for me. What about you guys in the comment section? Rima says Bruce already ready with the questions. Let me
Oh
put it
wow,
on my phone. He
that's
says
the
he says countries that prohibit polygamy have the highest infidelity rate. United States and the UK both cite at 70 and 68% respectively. Do you think it would have been different if we were allowed to have multiple partners? I think we are allowed in a way. I don't know, but it's just, I think it's just individual choices. But we'll get into that. What do you think? Since he wants to
Yeah,
stir the pot already.
I think we when we start, his question will be like maybe somehow answered, or we're going to dive into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there are good side and bad side.
yeah,
If you scrutinize the um,
exactly.
both social, I'll say both religious and and non-religious aspect of these two topics. I mean,
Right.
there are
I
other
wish
perspectives about them.
I wish all of my pastors and people will come on here to tell us what the Bible says about polygamy.
Yeah,
Oh man. Uh. I was laughing when my friend told me about this topic. I was like, oh God. Mm-mm-mm. The men will love this, but it's funny. It's not just men. Women like this too.
oh yeah, sure, sure. So this
Yeah.
topic, I mean, this topic is not just, it's not only about men. It's not only about men. This topic, it has a lot to do with family. Let me say that.
Right.
Family. Looking at the kids that are being reared by the family, with a lot of wives in the home, single family,
Yeah.
and a man that found himself in a polygamy life. What are the impact, the social impact?
Exactly.
Traditionally, what it means, what happens. So it's a topic that if we get into it with understanding, a lot of people are going to make decision as to where can I go, which one is best for me.
Yeah. It is being practiced now, but let's look at Mr. Raw. He said, last week I felt really broken, stressed, but a friend called and spoke with me for about 45 minutes. He and his wife kept checking on me, making sure I am good emotionally and mentally. I really appreciate it. Oh, that is so sweet. Aw. Yeah, it's good to have friends, that are like family that you can count on in your,
Yeah,
we all have those moments in life. It doesn't matter how your life is going. It might be exciting. Everybody might think. And I think that's something that our community really need to encourage a lot, like checking up on each other. For me, I'm really guilty of that because I'm always saying like I don't have time, but in reality we all have 7 days, 24 hours, it depends on what you prioritize. So thank you so much for sharing, and I'm glad that you have someone to talk to. I hope you're doing much better now. Um, yeah, that was great. This is why I like to do that part of this show, like asking what was something amazing you did or somebody did for you, because we don't think about it. The little things go uncounted for, but it's actually the big things too. You know, little things might be little to you, but it's big for somebody.
so especially when someone, I mean, I'm guilty of this. I had a call, but
Yeah.
what I do when someone tells me about somebody, I always make it my duty to ensure that the problem is solved. But to sit and like call and say, "How are you doing? How are things going?" like this, sometimes I have a serious challenge with that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I have a serious challenge. So I give a lot of people credit, those who put their time to those things. I call people, check on people. I mean, they do extremely well, and that's what society call for. You
Yeah.
know, every now and then checking on people, it means well. So
It's very
I can say
important.
that for
Yeah, it's
sure.
very, very important. We love it's kind of crazy. We don't realize how important it is until something
Yeah,
outrageous happened. And then
sure,
we're like, oh
sure.
my God, you know,
No,
but
I didn't know this was like this.
yeah,
Sure.
these days, if somebody like comes to my mind and I'm like, oh, like how you think about somebody, And then I would just call, like, I would just call, hey, how are you? If even they don't answer, I'll just leave a voice message. But before I would call and just like not leave a voice message if they don't answer, I just hung up. But if somebody crossed your mind, it's for a reason. So definitely. Um, so River says Pro said my week was less eventful, just work and work. I had to fill in for a friend who hurt her shoulder. Anyway, I like the extra time money we buy. So people love money. Yeah.
You are not Bassa. You already, yeah, you are not Bassa. You are ready in Grand Bassa County. So
He's a basa man, man. A
I'm
basa
talking to
man.
you. You are not Bassa.
Yeah,
You,
I'm mixed. But I always rep basa because that's what I'm used to.
of course. Of
And
course,
also,
I
I don't
do
know
that.
because my husband he's Basa, so I don't know if I'm real Basa now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, I'm done sharing the show. I'm actually gonna pin the link in the comment section. If you want to join the show, you are welcome to join us. My name is Felicia. I am your host. Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss B. It is a pleasure to sit before you guys tonight again to share with you. I am here with Mr. Walker. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Oh, I see you said it the right way. Peterson Walker is my name, and I'm in Calgary, Canada. I'm blessed to be here. We meet and share together. So I'm here today so we can discuss together and get some understanding. And we also will hope to hear from you what you make up of the topic on a discussion. And so, yes, so Phil, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you guys for joining us as well in the comment section. I just went ahead and put the link in the comment, but then now it's not letting me pin it. So I'll try again later on, but it's there. Tonight we're talking about polygamy and monogamy. Hey. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm scared because I don't know what comments are coming, but oh, Anna is here, the lady herself who brought this topic.
Okay.
It's not me that brought it up, please. You are the brain of everything. Hi, everyone. Thank you for
I,
having me on the show once more. The topics on this show are very interesting, and I always love to participate.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. We are just getting started. We usually start by 9 o'clock, but we're gonna start early today. But since we still have a little on time, do you want to share with us if anybody did something special for you this week, or did you do something amazing for somebody this week, the past week? I mean,
Someone did my hair this week. That was very sweet.
oh,
oh,
great.
nice. That's sweet. I wish somebody could do my hair. I could stop wearing these wigs.
Do you still have the hair? We are not seeing the hair and you're pressing the pressing.
Huh? I saw the hair though. It looked nice, but she's hiding.
Oh, okay. She's signing, and how will the public know that the person
I'm
did it?
dressed like I just woke up from
Oh, I
sleep.
Oh,
see.
I'm
You
revenge
see,
my
I
sauce
see.
today. Yay! That was cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, Salome says she's gonna do my hair. All right, guys, let's jump into it. I think first is better of us understanding what polygamy and monogamy is first, right? Maybe some people don't know what that word is, so we'll try to define it. Do one of you guys want to define it, or do you mind if I just share the actual definition of what that means?
We could try to define it, and then you can give us the book definition.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to start?
So I'll start first, and excuse my background. I have children.
No worries.
Um, so I would. I'm African, so in Africa, when a man enters a contract with a woman that they're getting married, and they solely choose I'm only going to be married to you for better, for worse, till death do us part, right?
Mhm.
That is monogamy. Now, there are times when you marry, you still sign the contract saying you guys are getting married, and it gives you an option that you're allowed to marry more than one person in the future. So that is polygamy, right? Where
Yeah.
any man or woman is allowed to marry more than one partner or more than one spouse. That's what the definition of polygamous a polygamous marriage is.
Okay. Nice. All right, Charles.
Okay. Okay. So um, you define it the best way ever, but in uh, a very simple way, I can say um, polygamy is a man who decide to make more than one women your wife. You have Mary, Annie, and they married to you as your wives. That is polygamy. In monogamy is you decide, you say, for me, only Martha will be my wife, and you stick to that person. Because I'm trying to bring it that way in a very easy way that our people may understand it that way. If because question may come around, oh, why if I didn't sign a contract with you and we live under the same root as husband and wife, am I still practicing that? Yes, you are practicing that. Once you make that decision and you live in under the same roof as your husband and wife, and you have more than one wives, that is what you are practicing. So yeah, so that's a common definition I can get so far. If we can go into it deep after the definition, then we can be looking at the pros and cons and the effects as well.
I love
Absolutely.
I love that, Mr. Walker. I
Me
have
too.
something to share with what you
Yeah.
just said. You made a statement that it's not necessarily a contract. Marriage, and also you mentioned something about marrying more than one woman or more than one wife as a polygamous definition. So I had a question for you. Does that mean that if I don't know if in this day and age now, there's some women that have more than one husband legally.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
So I
That's what I'm
wanted to
saying.
just
That's exactly.
clarify. I
Mhm.
just wanted to clarify that it may not
Yeah, sure,
necessarily
sure,
be a
sure.
wife, but it could also be husbands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Any of
yeah,
these opposite sex that decide to live in let's say relationship, marital relationship with more than one partner is a polygamous, and anybody who chooses to live with a single person as your wife or husband, then there's monogamy. I think that will offer well for you.
good. And then another thing you mentioned that I wanted to maybe clarify, um when we talk about contracts, we don't necessarily only mean legally binding documents. We
Right?
can also, like, for us back home in Africa, we have traditional weddings, right? When you send people,
That's
your
a contract.
your family, to come and see the other person's family, that is a contract. You guys are
So, so
you guys are agreeing to be together.
yeah,
Any agreement is a contract.
yeah, yeah,
So whether
yeah,
it's
yeah.
written or not written.
You are right. What I
Yeah.
try to say that is, uh, somebody can meet you today and decide to live with you, regardless of whether your uncle have shown himself to that person or your relative has shown himself to that person. In much as you have decided, that's what I say. Once you agree that this person, I'm going to live with this person, so that you cannot think, say, oh, because I did not send somebody there, or we are not going to sit to your house to discuss about maybe putting the ring or signing paper and here and there. So once you decide to live with the person, you have come up with a marital agreement. So I agree with you. When you talk about contract, I just want to bring it down to like uh, take my attention from anything I have to do with a formal something, also working a casual a level mutual agreement.
It makes
That
sense.
is considered as well as contract. That's what I try to
That
push.
makes sense. I appreciate you clarifying that. I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Oh, sure.
I love it. Thank you guys for clarifying. Mr. Ron, I don't know what happened. Looks like you were trying to come on. Want to try again. But yeah, thank you guys for that, for those definitions. Definitely, I think those are helpful for people to actually understand it, because sometimes if you give like the dictionary definition, some people might not really, it's good to have a relatable, conversation about it. But according to the dictionary, monogamy is the practice or state of being married to one person at a time, like being with one person at a time. And then they go further to say, it says a whole lot of things that I don't want to overcloud that definition. I'm going to just keep it as that, like being married to one person at a time. That's what monogamy is. And you guys already said it, but polygamy says, the definition says the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. So that's what polygamy is. Before you came on, Anna, I was saying while I was looking into this, I also find out now, instead of it just being polygamy, there are other words being added to it. Polyamorous. So we're gonna define what polyamorous is in 21st century. Okay. This gets even deeper than I thought. Oh wow. So polyamor, it says, is characterized by characterized or involved in the practice of engaging in multiple romantic and typically sexual relationship with the consent of all people involved. So now it gets even deeper and deeper. Welcome to the show, Mr. Raw. How are you? Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, no. So before we go to Mr. Raw, when Anna said there were women that are married to multiple men, River says Pro said women with more than one man. It's ugly. Oh my God. Oh man. Okay. So let's jump into it before we go to the comment section. Each and every one of you guys. So the topic said, what are your thoughts on that? So we already defined it. Who, Mr. Walker, since you're here first, we're gonna start with you. What is your thought on that? Like polygamy and, you know, monogamy. Obviously, majority of the world practice monogamy, but we do know we can't separate that from polygamy. Where we're from, it happens, in our countries. It even happened in the U.S. too. But we'll jump to that later on. What are your thoughts on that? Like, if you hear somebody says like, I prefer polygamy, or you're used to monogamy because you see it all the time, what are your thoughts with both of those based on your understanding? You can hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I'm hearing you. You are
Oh,
loud.
it was you. I was asking you.
Oh, you were speaking to me?
Yes.
Oh, you said it's okay. My name is Walker. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. So come with your question again. I was like, not.
No, I was saying based on the topic, right? What are your thoughts on that when you hear somebody says, like polygamy, of course, we all know what comes to our minds. Is
Okay.
that what would you, in your own perfect world, what would be your preference? Because we know society have already put men in a bubble, right?
Okay. So I just don't want to answer this is what I like.
Right, right.
I want to give you I want to say something about both of them,
Okay,
especially how our society look at them.
okay.
Now, generally you will say that like polygamy is not widely practiced, and that is because in some countries there are laws that restrict them, and in our society at large, the Bible is against it seriously. So people who practice I call it the Holy Book, people who go to church, people who practice Christianity, and even I can say partly. Let me stick to Christianity because other religion don't give preference to, let's say, monogamy. So, so the side of the polygamy life that is not good for our society, and other people see it not to be good for our society. It has to do with breaking up family. It has to do with breaking up family, and other have to do with dividing your attention. And those days, our tradition, our fathers who found themselves into that life, if they get two women home, uh, they don't totally love all of them equally, and so they have a saying that they got a head wife, and the head wife will have other girls or other women that her children going to be giving high preference. And if there is anything good, those days the head wife children should be the first to be privatized. As such, time goes by when these people expire. What remains? The head wife children and the other how you call it wise children become to knock at each other and become to fight for property, and they don't see each other as a relative. They start to fight against each other because your father or our father treated my mother differently and treated yours differently, and so that life, it becomes serious problem. And so in my mind, that is the major reason that I can say no, it's good that you stick to one partner. That would be in addition to the Bible. But I want to say, we look at from the traditional point of view, I feel that a man should be with one wife. And if you do that, the attention is to one place, and you bring your children up together, you live the life together, and things will be better together. That is the other side. And the other side, we can look at it. Monogamy, people, some men get into the life polygamy, considering things that a wife has no control of. For example, in our tradition, our old people, our forefathers marry one wife, and for any reason, this lady is unable to bear children. You see that the father is tempted to go out to be able to bring another wife that would bear children, because those our people think that children are offspring, and if you have a single wife and the wife cannot give birth, and so it will push that man to get out, to get another wife and bring that wife in. And so that is the conflict that get our people not holding fast to their single wife and living with them. They go out there and do that. I mean, I'm talking about, tradition. Those days, our
Right.
forefather, what caused them, more especially what caused them to get into that polygamy life. And so it is that way they go there, and the hair wife will understand. In fact, the lady herself will be the one to champion the cause that, oh, you know why? I'm getting older and I'm not giving birth to another child, or I'm not giving birth to children. So I think I can go to my home and bring my little sister so that the little sister can sleep with you and give you children. And it was common. They would go for that. And sometimes it turned out well, and sometimes it turned against the lady who brings the little sister. And so that's it. And other side of it, what make our forefathers to go into the life? They will, the thing say women were property. Women were their property. So the more they get more women, the more the wealthy they become. And you will see that the paramount chiefs those days, those chiefs those days, they don't work. They don't go on a farm to the women they get. The women will go on a farm to do all the nastiest job that you ever think about to bring food, and they will be in time, and they will exploit these women, and they will be. And sometimes they go to the extent that if they get about 4, 5, 6 to 10 women, they will even call some children or some of their brothers and tell them, say, Lord, you know what? I have more wives. Come and live with me. You will be living with that chief and having relationship with other some of his wives to go on a farm, to be able to dredge, to be able to grow crops, to be able to do. So our people went into that kind of agreement with different motives, and
Right.
it used to work for them. And this is what happened. So when in the Bible days, these things were not good, and I feel that it was deeply
Can you
rooted.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yes,
you.
Nina.
You
Can you hear
okay?
me too?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can hear
sure,
you.
sure.
Oh, yay, nice. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you come on and you get muted. I don't know what is happening.
No,
Anna.
she moved herself. It's
Okay.
fine. Yeah,
So,
you can just
so
go ahead
just to
and.
conclude, with the life of polygamy, from in the Bible perspective, I strongly feel when Abraham and Sarah, when Sarah was growing older, and even there was a promise to Abraham that he going to be the father of many nations. Abraham never waited and never trusted that that was going to come to fulfillment. Um, when Sarah was getting older, Sarah said, "You know what, my Lord, can I bring somebody that you can sleep with so that the fulfillment of God's work can come to pass?" That was the time you saw Hagar came up, and the result from there was so bad. Those who know much about Bible are going to tell you that yes, indeed, when it was not Isaac, Isaac was born by Sarah. Okay, so I think it's Ishmael. Ishmael was born by Hagar, and then it was not a friendly how you call it family, and God Himself had to tell Abraham that look, Sarah is going to give birth to a child, and that's the child that came forth as Isaac. So I'm saying that to say our people were doing something for some reason, and the reason,
Right.
even though their thinking was somehow, maybe we can say in our own thinking, we will say that it was not advanced enough, and so, but they did those things for many reasons. But our time, there's no need to do those things. You can't do that any longer. Okay,
Gotcha.
if
Hello.
if if your wife is not giving birth, you have a chance to
Um,
go adopt. You can adopt.
all
So
right.
that's it. So that's my choice. You got to go with monogamy is better as compared to polygamy during our time these days.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Rob.
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me on your show.
Welcome to the
And
show, man.
thank you, and thanks to Walker.
You're
And
welcome.
see, I think Anna is in the background as well.
Mhm.
Um, one thing I can tell people is that I think it's just by choice.
Right.
It's by choice, and it depends on the environment where you find yourself. Not to be personal, I grew up with an auntie that had about 5 mates, and when my uncle passed out, and the other family, I mean the other wife started to pass out as well. She's the only person that's left, and everybody called this woman mother. And I didn't see a day where one of the wives of my late uncle ever said, "Oh, this person not my child," like grandpa. they were all living together, very happy. And I don't know if what it was a magic or something that they used back in the days, you know. And I saw this in Lufa. And I mean, it is based on our orientation, our
Right.
mindset. For now, people are becoming so, I would say, greedy for acquiring wealth or property for their children. As a result of that, you have women who will say, "Hey, if I got, I mean, if I got a mate, and me, I'm not good enough for this man, so and everything will go to the other, the other woman, children, and that become an issue. But I think to have one or two is a choice. And also, sometimes I like to challenge people. Maybe Mr. Walker knows the Bible better than me. I want to see the part of the Bible that talks about, marrying, one wife. You know, I mean, like vividly written to say, you should marry, one woman. Because if you check out history, even back in the days of the Bible, everybody, I mean, most of the great guys that you hear about in the Bible were not married to one woman, right? And we're getting to that same age where you are passing and then you see a lot of women. At the end of the day, you see a man say, "Oh, I'm single. I mean, I'm married to one woman," but he or she has. I mean, the woman or the man have what we call the man will say side chicks, and
Yeah.
the woman will say, "Oh, my sugar, something like that." It
Sugar
is better,
baby.
yeah, it's better for you to say, "I, Mr. Raw, have five wives," and everybody knows that I have five wives, than for me to say I got one, but then I'm catering to other ladies in the background. I mean, it doesn't make
Right.
sense to me. It's just better you go if you just say, "Hey, you know what? This is enough for me. I can take three, I can take four." And everybody knows that, if you want to be the promiscuous, you can use the three or four ladies for your, to satisfy your desire. But going, I mean, people sitting down back home thinking that, oh, you know, it's good to marry one, but at the end of the day, when you go, even your wife in the house, I mean, you don't allow your wife to look at your phone. I mean, what is what is the essence of us going
I
to that
think
level?
about that too. You struck a
Yeah,
very great
yeah,
point on that.
the husband can look at your phone like my phone is my private. Married to a man, and you're saying your phone is a privacy. Why did you go for? Why couldn't you go for maybe polygamy or something, or because once you're married to two or three, I mean, you have the right to speak to any of them at any time you want to. So some people will
Right.
say that this modern age is not good for us. I think the only reason is that because people are trying to acquire wives for certain group of people, some don't want to see, they want to see something we call generational change or a paradigm shift. If my father had three or four wives, I mean, I shouldn't go that direction because when you look
Right.
at the current economy, you look at how we are living, the poverty level, especially for those of us in Africa and Liberia for that matter. So we want to check all of these things. You want to slow down, but I think uh, legalizing polygamy is the best thing to do. Everyone will have the choice. If you want to marry four women, go ahead. Just like I mean, I saw today the Methodists in Nigeria were protesting against homosexuality, but other states have legalized it.
Yeah.
When things are practiced by Africans, this is something I always say. Sometimes people say I'm becoming racist or what, but when things are practiced by Africans or other countries that are not Western, the Westerners, once they are not into it, they make it seem like it's not good, and they will do all the propaganda against it. They'll bring all what we call I don't know what's the theory they use, and they'll make it look like it's bad to the extent
Right.
that these people they were very successful to look at you and say, "Hey, Walker, you cannot be called Yakpawolo. You should be called Walker." And today you don't feel proud to be called uh, Yakpawolo. You feel proud and like you say, "I'm Walker." I'm Emmanuel. The same thing keep going on. It's a bit of, I don't know, I'm trying to find a word to use, but this is I mean, they make conscious effort just to have us at a certain level. There was time in past where you had these people were marrying two or three women at the same time, the white people or the Westerners for that matter. But they got to a point where maybe they try to analyze how the strain that it comes with. It's well, if you're trying to keep up with two or three women with so many children, the economy is not good, so you have to work look down. But it will not come straight. Once it's from the African side, man, this is not good. So I just think it should be a choice. You can decide to marry one woman, or you want to marry four or five. If the women agree to be with you, that's fine.
Thank you so much for that. I have two questions. Well, actually one.
I just want to
Um,
say something to that. I don't know if or you can, yeah,
yeah,
you can.
Let her ask a question. Just ask a
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
she
question.
can
this
go
is
ahead. She
it.
can go.
We don't have much
Listen,
time.
I absolutely agree with you. I actually think it should be legalized globally. I think people should be able to choose what works for them when it
Mm-mm,
comes
mm-mm.
to like the women should be involved. And I think
Yeah, forget.
um like they should be able to decide if that works for you. You should be able to decide if you want a polygamy or if you want monogamy. Like it should be your choice, you know. I think it should be legal. It shouldn't be something that's frowned upon. So I absolutely agree with you. Now, my question to you regarding the Western, you know, if you know, African or let's just say any country that's not to the standard of the western, right? Based on what you said, do you think it's them like enforcing it on them, or is it the Africans or black or whatever country that might be? Do you think they're the one who put these western countries on a pedestal and want to be like them, that they decide to do that instead of because if somebody came and sold you rotten fish, if you don't see the importance of it, are you going to buy it? Just to play devil's advocate. Oh no, he's gone. He's gonna come back.
Oh, he
But
has
yeah,
to
I was
come.
just
Okay,
thinking about that.
okay,
Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
okay. Sorry, I just there's so much I heard that it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I've always been yes. Go eat vegetables to your sister, please. Um, I've always been one of those people that were didn't like polygamous marriages and everything because like my family, like my extended family comes from polygamous homes back home. But I mean, after listening to Mr. Walker and the other guy that spoke, I feel like yeah, it should be a choice. But then the question that popped up in my head was it- I think that if it's legalized, Bria, let her eat on her own. Stop. If it's legalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
If polygamy should be legalized, I think all party involved should have a say because it should not be just the people in question. Because most of the time, the husband who is going to marry the second wife and the wife and the second wife and in cahoot they're agreeing to it, right? But the
Right.
first wife is not okay with having a second wife or co-wife. So I think that if it has to be legalized, right, all parties should have a part where they're signing saying I'm okay
So,
with this.
wait. So you're saying if it's getting legalized, it should be they should come with a guideline.
Yes,
Okay.
where all parties are agreeing to it because to if you want to look at it really, just like Mr. Walker was saying, if 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 most times people are marrying because they're trying to make some type of financial change in their family or change their family dynamics or whatever. And also if you marry the first wife and then maybe things are not working out, you go marry the second wife, and it's causing issues. You don't want that in your family, right? But if everybody is in cahoot, if everybody is okay with it, the chances of having arguments and all these fights will be reduced a little bit because everybody was okay with it. Most times
Yeah.
when you see where there's arguments between first wife and second wife is because the first wife was not in an agreement, or the second wife may not have wanted to be in that marriage um, with someone else. She just entered there because of financial security or something, right?
Right.
Because no woman in her right senses will want to go marry, be a second wife. Because
I
yes,
don't.
the
I
second,
disagree. I disagree.
the second wife when she first joins, she will be happy because the guy is showering all the blessings. But at some point, he's gonna get tired. You
I
understand? And I
disagree.
also, another thing that I wanted to mention is that being in a polygamous marriage, there's a lot that has to play with everything. Like, you find yourself, I'm just imagining me if I was in a polygamous marriage. You have to wait. It's like you're waiting for, like, like everything has to be scheduled.
That's
There's
what
no
you think. That's what
there's
you
no
think.
spontaneity, like, like, oh, your
Let
husband
me
will
say
say,
the link.
you guys cannot sleep on the same bed. Like, you guys will sleep in different rooms, and then the husband comes
Mhm.
to one room today, tomorrow. Like, you wait.
You're
That
thinking.
feeling of
You're thinking about like all the other things that you shouldn't think about. But I disagree, though. I absolutely, Mr. Raw. I'm about to share the link. But go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. So, so that's another thing that I was thinking about when everyone was speaking. And then another thing that came to my mind too was, if you're marrying more than one wife, right? What guarantees that everything that you have, let's say your possessions or whatever you have, your assets, will be split equally amongst the wife with no issues, even
And I
if
think
they were
that's what Mr.
happily,
Raw was saying, right? That's what
yeah.
people are thinking about. But I'll let you finish. There are some things that I find out that actually, shockingly, I find myself thinking, like, you know what? I don't mind it. I probably wouldn't mind it if I really, yeah, you see your face?
And then another thing that I also thought about was the fact that when you're also married in you're married in a polygamous home, like, everything is not yours. You guys have to split every single thing. Like, I know
That's what you're
I have a
thinking.
boss that has 18 siblings, and he told me even as much as his father had so much money, like, that attention, that affection that you have with your dad, it's not there. Like, I wouldn't want my kids being in a relationship with, I would not want my children sharing a father with other people, because, like, it's just too much. Like, and he may not, his siblings don't even, his dad didn't even know all his siblings names. Like, why would you want to put yourself through all that?
You sound
And
like
then
a typical modern woman.
I'm very
I'm sorry.
monogamous, but at the same time, I think that the people should have that choice to make, because I agree with not having side chicks. It should be an open thing, because nobody likes being snooped. Like, you don't want your husband doing things in your back, right? You prefer for him to do it in your front, so you know what's happening. But at the same time, like, there's a lot. I think that the cons outweigh the pros for this. So, but yeah, that's my take on it.
Man, you have me thinking like so many things. So what you said, thank you for sharing that. I absolutely, okay, Mr. Ross back. Let him come back and answer my question. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I missed up on your question. You just had the question. I think you said you want to ask a
That's
question.
so good. Yeah, I was saying, like, I absolutely agree with you. I think it should be a choice. I should be able to, if I'm deciding to get married today, I should be able to decide and say, hey, I want polygamy. And I should come full disclosure to my partner, and they should understand that going forward, right? The part where I had my question was when you said that the Western, if something is practiced by, you know, like black, not, I don't want to say black people, but people that are not of the standards of the Western, right? It always seems to look bad. And my question to counter that, just playing a devil's advocate, even though I understand where your point is, right? But I was just gonna say, do you think it's those people accepting it to make it like looking up to these Western as their standard, as the golden rules to everything? Do you think it's their fault as well? Don't you think they have control over deciding that instead of just following what the Western standards are?
I think so. What happened is this. Even right now, if I came to Pensy and say, "Hey, Pensy, I want you to be my wife," and
Right.
I should take you to my family and say, hey, this is the woman we do the traditional wedding. But you, things will be thinking, hey, we got to go to church to have the wedding. We got to do the white wedding. The kind of mindset. So it's
Right.
something that already we have been indoctrinated into. The same people that came up with the Bible and told us that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for homosexuality are the one that's saying is a human right. Why are
Thank
you so
you.
saying that it's not good to marry two or three women? I mean, it's not good. I mean, they are pushing all of those things around here. But if they were practicing it, they would have come to us and say, hey, this is good for us to practice. Let's do it. I'm not being racist. I'm just saying the reality.
No, it is
It
true.
was something that was practiced in Europe or it was practiced in America. I mean, not just Europe and America. I mean, just talking about the West. It would have been fine, but
It
because they are not practicing it, it become
it
like,
is being practiced. It is
I
being
mean, few of
practiced.
them. I'm just saying few.
But not at a large
Yeah,
spectrum
not
though.
are those from us from the Africa and Asia or the Middle East. You know, basically it's the Middle East and out of Africa that really practice, polygamous kind of living. So for that reason, there's been a conscious effort to get rid of this system. But I'm saying to myself, okay, I agree to what you're saying.
Mhm.
It's not good to marry two or three women, but it's good for a man to marry a man. I
Right.
mean, yeah,
I
it's
asked
good
that
for a woman
question
to marry a
too.
woman. I think there should be a choice. Like Anna said, if you have a situation where the two mates are not understanding each other, it's probably maybe the man got involved with another woman without the consent of the first wife. We have a tradition in Africa. If a man wants to marry another woman, you first consult your wife. And in fact, it is your wife that will go to that family and ask that, you know, I want this person to be my mate, not
Right.
the man. The man will not go to the family house. It is the wife that will go to that lady house and say, I saw a lady here and I want her to be my mate so that we can all be married to one person. But there are pros and cons to that. But I think it's something like they were doing. I personally wouldn't want to do it. That's why I say it's a choice. But once you feel comfortable with it, why not? Why
You know,
should we preach
probably
against that?
before you came back on, thank you so much for clarifying that. I was thinking, and I'm like, as I'm reading into this, and my conscience is telling me like, why not? Why wouldn't you want if it's something where you sit and discuss, and I think this is where modern America is going with this. A lot of, just so you guys know, there's a lot of group of people that have actually started, researching the polygamy, and there are people actually fighting to get it legalized, to make it, normal for people to be able to practice that. But I'm just thinking, some of the people that actually were trying to do this whole topic that I was watching online and seeing, and then I'm thinking like, wow, instead of us here struggling, we probably could have like someone who's very highly, have something else in this area, like they're productive in this area. And I get their point, but then when you look at the selfish side of it, you're like, nah, I don't want to share, like what Anna was saying, right? But I think if it's in an organized group where everybody know their place and understand their area, like respect my area where I'm at and things like that. I mean, I don't know, you guys. I I'm thinking
Yeah.
my husband might be happy right now. I'm just kidding.
So, so I want to look at it from this far.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely, anything that has to do with freedom of expression or your right, no one
Yeah,
should stand, against somebody's right.
yeah,
And that's why when I started giving you a historicity about the entire issue about polygamy life, it has to do with the good side of it. And our people were looking from one direction. In fact, I can say that our forefathers were more alike, understanding that even if I get the lady that is with me as my wife, I can still bring my little brother to live with her or to sleep with her, and they make fun for me. Those things used to happen those days, and they don't take it to be
Really?
anything. But the side of it that now we try to let's say westernize, I can say that in lack of better word, westernize everything and say, oh yes, it is because the other Lord is coming against the life we lived before our forefather lived, and so they want to change it. We can say that if you say it is the best thing left with a choice. And I agree with Anna when Anna said, let everybody agree to something. Will you as a man agree that your wife see another person that she in love with and give her the permission to go and sleep with that person, since indeed polygamy life is not one-sided? Are you going to
Right.
agree to that? You are not going, no one is going to agree to that. But those days, our forefathers they used to bring, a strong person and say, Lord, you know what, you are strong enough, come and be here, come live with me. And say, Lord, you, Mary, take care of him. And that's it. But these days, no man can say that. Women can do that behind you. They can do that. No man is right man will say, even the people who are advocating for that right will not practice that life, allow their women to go out and come with two, three men. Even though it happened, in Africa, in other part of the world, but we cannot allow it. So if we cannot allow it, it becomes a problem. Why you say it is good and we can practice it and we don't want to allow our partner to go into that. So if you don't allow your partner to go into that, it means there is something that what is hurting you, it should be hurting another person. That's the
Right.
downsides of it. That's the downsides of the polygamy. I'm not looking at any other law that, like you mentioned about uh, uh, homosexual. I mean, you say polygamy is bad, but homosexual is good. So totally everything can be left with any. I mean, an individual. You come up with what you want to do, what you think works better for you. You go for it. It should not be like you try to, force another group to do that. I totally agree with him, but I can say it will not fall on fertile soil that you say yes, you welcome polygamy life, and you don't allow your wife to go into that. That's the downside of it.
Awesome.
You're right.
As you
So,
guys,
go
sorry,
ahead.
as you guys were talking, I thought about open relationships.
I think
And
that's a form of polygamy. I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so open relationships. Now, open relationships are very consensual among all parties involved in the relationship, right?
Hmm.
Now, I'm wondering if we should add that in polygamous marriages,
Yeah,
open
I can say.
marriages, open marriages will be in now in today's day will be the same as an open relationship, except the person is not married to that third party. So
Yeah.
should
So, so oh, that's
No,
a scary one.
I don't think that should be the case. That's why I said
Yes,
it
okay.
should be legal. There's something called I think you guys call it the polyhanchi, right? Where you have a woman marrying to more than one. I was just watching the documentary while when you started the discussion. I was looking at documentary. There are a couple of families in the United States that are actually practicing it, and we have some
Yeah.
in South America, in South Africa. We also have them. Like I said, I mean, it's just your choice. I mean, if
Right.
you have that mutual understanding that, look, this is what we want, go for it.
Right.
We've come of age
please,
as
where are you
humans.
watching that
As
so I
humans,
can I can go watch it?
go ahead, go ahead.
It's on YouTube, right?
What?
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen something like that, but I actually just glanced over it. I mean, if and I agree too. If we're gonna say, everybody should have equal right, what if I want to practice polygamy? What if the next person wants to? What if I think that's gonna make my family whole? Why shouldn't I have that choice to do that? I think it should
Oh,
be legalized. I agree with you guys. I think it should be an individual choice. But I also, and Mr. Raw, I don't know if you heard Aunt Anna when she was talking. Do you guys think when it gets legalized, should there be a guideline on that, or people should set their own guideline?
We have guidelines in marriages, right?
Right.
The same should be applied. You don't have to, like, she's talking about open relationship. Open relationship, probably you have no legal bounding.
No,
Yeah.
that's not what we
Yeah.
talked about before we came. That's something before you got disconnected. I was talking more about
Mm.
if at first I was very pro monogamy, right? But when I heard you and Mr. Walker talk, I was like, that's a really good point. But I think that if it has to be legalized,
Mhm.
there should be some type of guideline saying that both parties will sign to the third person joining the relationship, including the
Sure.
woman, the first wife in question. Because most of the times, especially back home, like in Africa, men marry second wives because they know women don't have a say. Their first wife mostly don't have a say unless the man was a really nice man and he wanted a male child from his
No,
wife
no,
and the wife
no,
couldn't
no,
give him. I'm
Anna.
just
It
using
depends
that
on
as
the
an
culture.
example.
It depends on the culture.
No, I'm just giving that
Right.
as an example. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that as an example. I'm just saying that back home, like most times when you see polygamous homes, right? The
Mm.
first wife was not okay with the man marrying the second wife. But because she doesn't have a choice or doesn't really have a financial power or some type of power in the relationship or voice, she has nothing to say but to go with what her husband wants.
Sure.
So I'm saying that if in the future or if it has to be legalized, there should be a guideline saying that okay, if the first two are married, it's just both of your signatures. But if a third person has to be involved in the relationship, meaning a second wife has to be involved, the second and the first wife will sign. And if it's a if the man marries the second wife, the first wife will sign, the second wife will sign, and then if the third wife is coming, both wives will sign. Like there should be a section for as the wives increase, each of the following wives should sign
I
saying
think
that they're okay with it because it would reduce a lot of tension and a lot of the fighting. I've
oh
never seen
my
a
God.
polygamous home that there's no fights, there's no competition, there's no,
Actually,
so I think that that will reduce some of that negative behavior.
I have seen it. So let me just tell you guys, my mom practiced it once. So my mom, I was a baby. I don't really remember. I don't really know the whole history of it, but I heard of it, right? So when my dad passed away during the war, my mom met a gentleman who was already married, and his wife was old, and my mom was young. So she was taking as one of the wives. And as much as little as I was, and I don't remember so much, I think it just depends on the individual that's coming in, their outlook and how they handle the situation, right? Because if I'm the young wife and I feel like I'm coming to take over, like most of the young women these days don't know their place and they just think because they're pretty and whatsoever, they're gonna jump in and take over, they're there to take over. I think it's all about whoever is coming in and whoever is there, their attitude with the whole situation, right? So I think my mom became a very good aspects to that relationship from what I heard from other people because she was young. She could do a lot of things that the older wife couldn't do. And the older wife didn't see it as a threat. It was kind of like a mutual understanding. I don't know so much about the relationship, but I know that after the older wife passed away, so rest in peace. My mom, the gentleman did not actually go to go look for another wife anymore. Like my mom just became the wife, and that was my stepdad. But I think it's just about how you handle the situation when you get there, or how it presents itself. But I don't, as much as I think there should be guidelines, I don't think there should be like, if it becomes legalized, I don't think it should be where the government or the institute is telling you how to run your life, like how to run your home. I think it should be where it's like there should be consent and things like that, legal aspects of it. And then the rest of it should be able to be managed between those people. That's just what I think. I don't know.
Right, right. I think the message is just clear that it should be open. It should not be like forced on anybody.
Right.
Uh, Polyandry, like Mr. Rob mentioned, polyandry is this is the part of that legal boundary that is going to be the problem unless we go with Anna, who comes with the document and says um, we only practice polygamy, not polyandry. You only my wife. You are not allowed to go to any other man, but I'm allowed to get two, three wives. Maybe document as such. Maybe document as such is going to find a well place where people will go for it. And like you mentioned, polyandry is still practicing some part of the world. Yes.
Yeah.
He just reminded me on that. It's still practiced on some part of the world. Like I said before, definitely the good side of it. And if you read some documentary, it tells you people practice polyandry in a situation where the female become like almost like the breadwinner, get property, and men are not like there to do much, and so they like at the forefront. They amass a lot of wealth, and so they go ahead and marry and get more than one husband. So similar thing that the men do, women do the same thing. So that is it. If we want to leave it open and be of human rights issue, in my view, it's going to be like, oh yes, you know what? Any family who want to practice this one, you can have a clear document, everybody sign, and yes, if you go against your own signature, the other partner can go to court. I think in that direction
Right.
it's going to work. But the Bible does not agree with it. Christian marriage does not agree with it. I just want to repeat that. Christian marriage does not agree with it. Anywhere you search the Bible, it will directly not tell you marry one wife, but it will tell you having a burden that you cannot carry is a sin. So if the Bible tells you having a burden that you cannot carry is a sin, and you marry 4 or 5 wives, and these women become a burden, and you try to discriminate, or you try to privatize one over another, it becomes something that it does not work in a terrain where the Bible is. So yes, the Bible will not tell you that, but there are something you find yourself that yes is forbidden.
So I will say there is part of the Bible where it talks about the priest marrying multiple um wives. I'm gonna try to find out that
So
if I'm not
the
mistaken.
so many people will look at the life of David, life of Solomon,
Hmm.
reading from the book of Samuel. So there's some priests that marry more than one wives. There were some people, some great men in the Bible those days who marry more than one wives. But uh, at the time, these people were like being intercede. They there were priests that intercede on their behalf. They were not
Amor,
high.
Ariel.
They were not in the forefront of going to God in prayer, seeking God. How you call it? Seeking God present. People were like before them. It's like these days, if you find yourself in such a situation, even though the Bible does not agree with it, you will see that the priests those days were people, holy people, were not in that kind of a contaminated mood, like a Solomon marrying more than 1,000 wives, David marrying, and or a great man married out. These people had people who interceded on their behalf. But now, no one intercedes on your behalf to God. You sit at your bed and pray. You do whatever you say, oh God, help me, and these things happen. There is no sacrifice. Jesus is the final sacrifice. So indeed, that is why everything you do that contravenes what the Bible says and declare as a sin, it becomes your responsibility to get yourself off that lane. So that's it. So if you want to measure that, oh, people marry multiple women in the Bible, you cannot compare it with now, because if you take the Old Testament, take the New Testament, there it will clearly tell you they are not like, uh, uh, they are not treated the same way. People who
Yeah,
live in
because
the
I
New
thought that was
Testament.
in Corinthians. I'm trying to
Mhm.
see if I remember that
What exactly
Bible verse.
you want to talk about?
Huh?
What exactly you looking for?
No, I was trying to find because I remember reading once where it talks
Huh?
about like the priest or someone in there. I'm gonna find that. I have to find that. Not tonight, but I'll find it. Where the priest was allowed to marry multiple wives, but there were guidelines giving to that. I have to find it. Maybe I'm mistaken, I don't know. But
Okay.
I want us to touch the comment section a little bit. Thank you guys so much for that. That was really, really good. So Riverside Pro started the show out by saying countries that prohibit polygamy have the highest infidelity rate. United States and the UK both sit at 70 and 68% respectively. Do you think it would have been different if we were all allowed to have multiple partners? I'm gonna go
That,
first.
okay.
Hmm?
After
I
you, I'll go.
don't think I don't think legalizing or not legalizing polygamy um have anything to do with infidelity. I think people in general will do what it is they want to do. Some people just lack respect for other people. And, some people will just do whatever. I don't think, I have watched something online where these people are practicing polygamy in the US currently, but only one woman is actually recognized as the married wife. But he still went and cheated. So, regardless, if the individual was allowed to marry multiple women or whatsoever, if it's in their nature, they're still gonna cheat. I don't think it's because polygamy is not accepted. I just think people in general are just like that, because you can still voice out that you want to have multiple partners to whoever it is that you're with, and that is their choice to decide, even though it's not legalized. That's my piece of it. Anna, what do you have to say?
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
Um, um, Infidelity is a medical condition. So regardless of what you do, the person will still the person will still be infertile. So they can seek treatments. There are advanced medical treatments now that can solve the problems of infertility.
No
Now,
infidelity. He was talking
infidel.
about.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misread that then. Okay,
Yeah.
infidelity is something that you can't stop a person. You can't stop a person even if you legalize polygamy, right? It's a
It's a
personal
choice.
choice. Yeah, it's a personal choice. People tend to cheat even when they have multiple wives. That's why you see men having three, four, five, because the second one was still something was still missing. That's why they went to number three, and then they went to number three. Something is still missing. They're still going to number four, and you see all these things cause this polygamous lifestyle cause men or women to have multiple children by different men. You understand? So I think
Yeah,
that if it's legalized and people still have a choice and want to stay faithful, they will. They could still be not faithful with multiple wives. Now,
gotcha.
the other thing that I wanted to mention too is it says, do you think it would have been different if we have allowed the multi no, I've already answered that. Never mind. That's it.
So
Thank
so
you.
uh, I these rates, these percentages he gave are based on research. If it is a research work,
Yeah, it is a pool
based
of
on research.
people, right?
But I want to tell you, there are other countries who these things are not legalized. Their infidelity rate is more high. By look of things, I mean how people behave, behavior of our people. Even though polygamy, it is not, you know, it's not legalized nor it is not bound in our society. But still, people live a life that they are not faithful. They are not faithful to their partner. You can even have five, six wives. You will still have another side piece. And they do that. Why our forefathers those days, or why other religion or other people will have two wives and they will still want to go for the third one. Why they will have three wives, they still want to go for the fourth one. So these things, it comes with different spirit. Faithfulness comes with different spirit. It's not about holding you to law to maintain that faithful. How many law the states it is in the Western countries that we're in, and we still have the jail overcrowded.
Right.
So these things are a special thing. Yes, researchers will do that because they are doing a piece of job to tell us how it look like. But I'm from Liberia, and I know when someone is in authority, even the person start to get $2, $3 constantly coming, what they go into. I know how other people, go about doing things. All
Yeah.
the wealth is there. So what I can say is, when it comes to what he said, yes, that is to tell you that even you go into it, you legalize it or not, this particular unfaithful behavior is not tied to either of them. I can say that.
Right.
That's my own opinion. Unfaithful
Thank
behavior is just a spirit that drag you into a lot of things, and it has to take some time to know whether you can be faithful to your partner and you can be faithful to yourself. The first thing, think about being faithful to yourself. What you want in
right.
life. If you are not faithful to yourself, if you don't have privacy, if you don't set your own thing, you can go for anything. And so that's how I want to answer that.
Thank you for that. I just wanted to add this. I always think about, back home, people are afraid of, witches and, somebody killing them. But then they don't, I don't know if people really think about, being with multiple partners. That's the easy way that you can die. I
That
don't know
is
if
something.
people think about it. It's like, you're worried about car hitting you, but you're not worried about the activities you're involved in. That's the easiest way you can leave the earth.
Oh,
But at someone at my work, this gentleman, he's really funny. He's like, well, if that's the easier way for me to die, I want to die that way because I'll be happy. And I'm like, so crazy. So the next question from River says Pro, he said, why was polygamy related? I think we kind of briefly answered this
I can
question
I
part of
can
it.
I
And
can
why
add I can
modern
add to
women,
it.
yeah, why modern women frown upon this? Anna is ready for this one. Go ahead.
I don't think that the Bible says that polygamous relationships was okay. It never really mentioned. It just mentioned that it was happening. There's nothing in the Bible that I can remember that says it was okay or was not okay. It just, like, for example, like Samson. Samson had multiple wives. They were not stressing on the fact that he had multiple wives. They were stressing more of the power that he has.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't think there's anywhere in the Bible that particularly said having multiple wives is okay, or having a polygamous relationship is okay. It doesn't say that. But
It doesn't say it, but I think it did talk about priests, and that's what I want to found. I need to find out that
yeah,
scriptures.
then you should have a part two on this because I would like to know
Yeah,
that
there was
in
a
the
scripture
Bible.
that talks about. like the priest being able to, but it gives a guideline on how that should work, and not just you just get up and just say, oh, I married this and da da da. No, but I do know the Bible does frown upon, it says each person should have their own wife. It did say that, but I know there's a part of it, either in Corinthians, first or second Corinthians, somewhere there, it talks about, you having as a priest, and what are those that comes with it. But yeah, why do modern women frown on it, Anna? Why do you
Uh,
think we modern women don't like it?
because modern women believe in
Me.
a one man one woman type of relationships. Yeah, there are still a few that prefer to be in polygamous marriages because they want that freedom, right? But genuinely, women are jealous. They're jealous type beings. They're protective of what belongs to them, and they don't like to be competing. They don't want to feel like a second option. And most times men
But we
don't
compete all
know
the
how.
time.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Women, we compete. That's why they say women's a woman's competition is another woman, right? Just like if you want your husband wants your attention and you're not giving him the attention, as soon as he just turns to another lady, you notice it, you get offended. So what I was trying to say is that women were built to protect what is ours, right? All the qualities of a virtuous woman. I think that's why the modern world wouldn't allow for women to be polygamous. If you see a woman that is polygamous, she has her own gains from everything. But majority of the time, women are very jealous, very protective, and they don't believe in sharing. Everything has to be mine, mine, mine. That's
That's
the
a
same thing
modern
with their
concept.
money. Yeah, it's all about them. Me, 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 me. The me mindset, right? And yeah, so but I won't say that they were accepting it before they didn't have a choice. Now women have the power. They're working, they're more working class women now, or wives, or women now than they were back then. So women were supposed to be nurturing, not the providers. Now women provide, so
Right.
they have the choice, they have the say, they have some level of
I think
power now.
I think that's
Okay,
what I
so
was going to
I
say.
want to
I
give
think.
you I
Go
want to
ahead.
give you this point. I know I keep hearing the Bible did not talk anything about polygamy life. But if the Bible speak of adultery, fornication, I don't know
Right.
what do we think of these words? What are their definition as compared to polygamy or the one we are talking about? If you read the book of Leviticus 20:10,
Mhm.
it will tell you. It said it was God I was speaking to the people. He said, if a man commits adultery with another man's wife, the
Oh,
wife, yeah, that wife, there's a says of the neighbor, both the man and the woman, the adulterer and the adulteress must be put to death. So
oh wow.
when I always speak of it, I tell you, say the Old Testament and the New Testament, they will not say no to each other. But the treatment that you get in New Testament is different as compared to the Old Testament. And Leviticus is in Old Testament. It clearly says, if you leave your wife and get behind another person's wife, both of you should be put to death. That was strictly from the Bible. Now, in the New Testament, if you read some scripture in the New Testament, it speaks to you that fornication is not allowed. And it tells you if you Paul was talking to I think that's the scripture you may be looking for, was speaking to, I can't lay hand on it right now,
Yeah.
speaking to Galatians, saying that if you if you want to remain single, it's good. If you want to marry, it's good. But you cannot live a fornication life. You cannot get married and live adultery life. And these
Which
are
we
the
know that's
so
being destroyed
so
now.
so, so totally the argument about polygamy should be to your discretion. If you want to live in the Bible, I don't want us to discuss it. This is why I say for the Bible, it does not fit within the circle of the Bible. If you
Right.
want to give, if you want to both the polygamy and the polyandry and the I call it
Monogamy.
men marrying men and what have you, all of them don't fit within the Bible circle.
No, it
But
don't.
if you want to say that's the right to people to do, then you speaking outside of the Bible. We cannot compare that with the Bible and say, well, the Bible did not say anything about it. The Bible says something about it that are all concrete. They are all concrete. In the New Testament, it tells you say God hates you if you do not able to handle a weight that you will not bear. Do not. Because if you take that weight, if you cannot bear it, it's a sin. So if Bible did not say don't marry 5 women, and it clearly say that do not handle such a weight, you cannot make it. That's a weight. So
But you know,
they are all intertwined.
I like the I'm not really too familiar with the Muslim faith, but I had some colleagues that are Muslim and they explained to me and I'm like, well, that makes sense. So the guideline is you can have multiple wives, but you need to be able to equally provide for those people. You can't, one person can be living better than the other person. Everybody has to be equal. And I just want to correct something. I know you guys, I said that, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, that I wouldn't mind it if that was it. But then thinking about me, how I am, I'm like, oh my gosh, that person would really have to deal with me. But I feel like certain situation makes people make different decisions, I think, at different times of your lives. But if you really look at it, if that options was around, I think most people would have opted into polygamy. Especially, I don't want to speak for other people, but I think if if it is the way how it's being presented, like, you get taken care of. Like the most famous one I know that I follow them, I actually watch them and I'm like, wow, it must be interesting. But we see how things crumble on the internet and things like that is the Regina Daniel and the famous Nigerian net, what's his name? He married a young, actress, and then the other wives are in the dark cloud. The other wife wants to be on social media too. You see it like all played out. They have problems and then they get back together. But I just feel like if you had the opportunity to do it, like if it was if it was one thing that I knew first that it was presented to me, I'm just looking in my mind like, hmm, if that was an option and I could do it, I probably would have said yeah. Because then I'm thinking like, okay, I have a partner, I have a friend. Where I'm looking at it on the other end where it's all rosy, but then you think about the other side, you're like, yeah, when the real part comes, can I handle it? I don't think I can handle it, actually. Now that I'm saying it out loud to myself.
I
But
must say, and a female of our time
yeah,
to handle
I'm
that.
thinking I could, but I'm like, I don't know if I can. But just reading the comment section, River says Pro said, I grew up in polygam
Polygamous.
polygamous home. My father had two wives. Everyone had their roles. I don't ever remember a clash. I think, and my mother and stepmother, we children got along. I think because his family knew how to manage it and everybody understood their role. I think that's where the problem comes from. If
No,
everybody
he should
understands
tell.
their
What
role.
could be the rule?
I would like to know how his mom and dad got to
And
the
that
point
the
where he's
rule,
accepting, because there could have been a need for why the second wife came in the picture.
right? That could be the
Yeah,
need.
Yeah.
yeah, because there's no way, if there's a need, the second wife will at least know that, okay, I'm coming. This is my role that I'm feeling, right?
Well,
And she
remember
will
he
know not
told
her kids
you
to
his
step in the
siblings,
ground.
they all got along. All the children got along. So his mom had kids, his other sibling had kids, and I think sometimes, if I'm not mistaken, I think sometime back in the days, the wealthy parents will marry their kids out, to others, and they thought that was a noble thing to do. Or
Yeah, so sometimes, like I said, sometimes you come in a home. Those days, I don't know how old
Mhm.
that family were at during the time they were there, but those days the father and the head woman will come to a agreement that, look, you know what, we need to have food in the home. We need other family to
for
come in.
family.
Yes, so for farming purpose. So can we get another, a lady to join you so that our farming work we can be able to. And the lady will say, yes. You know what? I'm suffering. I'm alone. I'm suffering. So I think we can get another person. And that's where I agree with Mr. Raw when he said these people, it can be open, and people who say yes to it, they can say yes to it. They can say yes to it to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Homes went smooth those days. It's just like these days, if you see a lady with a child, the mother is not there. Maybe the reason is the man did something and he just beg her and say, you know what, please take care of our child. And she will agree, say, yes, I can allow the child, but I will not allow another woman to come and sit here. So
Mhm.
that's a much more practice people do now, and people doing it now. But I can tell you, to get two women in the same house in America or in Canada or maybe in Morovia, all looking at their husband going coming, it's going to be tough.
Oh, it's happening. I watched this show called Sister Wives. I don't know, Anna, if you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Sister Wives. I mean, this man, I don't know. They have their own little community, you guys. Like, each person has their house. Like, he has a land. Each person has their house. They are within proximate of each other, and he has, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 20 children. And I'm like, Jesus,
And I
20.
bet he doesn't know the names of all those kids.
He knows that. No, no, no,
Why
no, no.
would
He
you
knows
say
all the
that?
children names.
Who the man will not know the name of his child?
He knows all the children name, but here's the thing: they run a family business. Each person is a
Right.
professional. Each person is
Uh-huh.
a professional. That's what I'm saying. Looking
Yeah.
at it from that standpoint, I probably could. I probably could. But then if I think about it on the other side, I'm like, can I really? Because if somebody's
Yeah.
great with this, somebody's great with this, somebody's great with it, just swallow your pride and just keep it moving. But I don't know.
You know, that
Yeah.
reminds me, back in the day, a lot of
Mhm.
parents, that's one of the reasons why a lot of parents used to have multiple children, because
Yeah.
they believe that they would train each kid to a particular profession.
River said,
We didn't read it yet.
Anna, Anna, you have a reminder, but River said, just read the script.
He
What
said,
was
"Oh,
that?
you know that a woman with many men is not popular in Africa, but men with multiple women is acceptable." I think
Yeah.
both should be acceptable, though, Riverside.
Ah, okay.
But
Oh,
but
that's the one
but
I don't
but
agree with. Please.
but
Oh my God.
but I don't agree with either or.
All
I don't
right.
agree with both. No woman should have multiple husbands. That's nasty. But please, this is a show. It's my opinion. So I'm not saying anybody's relationship is wrong, but I just feel like when you're sharing body parts with multiple people at the same time, it's kind of, I don't know.
Well, there should be a guideline where everybody gets checked. I mean, we're getting into the neat and greedy now, I guess. But I will expect people will actually go get checked, go through medical and stuff like that. Like, when Mr. Roy said, before you could just go to your parents, you know, you know, a gentleman will come and say, "Hey, I want to marry Felicia." and then to go to your parents, you have your traditional where the parents bless you and you both go on, you're considered married. Now it's like in Africa and even around the world, everybody want white wedding and all these big things. Thank God I honestly, I don't blame people who don't want to do the whole legalization of marriage. They just want to have a ceremony between they and their partner and just call it a day. I think that should be also be considered a marriage as well.
Oh, it
Because
is.
if I don't want to do the whole extravaganza or sign a legal document and things like that, if I know I practice my tradition and there's a document within my tradition that occur, it should be accepted as a marriage as well. But hey, we live in a world where same-sex marriage, they call it equal. Everybody needs to be equal, but everything else is not accepted. How are we being equal? How is everybody being treated fairly if anybody can do that? So River says pro kill us with all the questions tonight. His last one was like his statement says, modern women have been programmed by society to hate polygamy, but the same society encourages. I mean, I just said it. I don't think modern women are
He's referring
programmed.
to me.
Huh?
Oh
No,
no.
I don't think I don't think modern women are programmed to. I think the feminism group did not really explain what feminism is and how it should be used. I think most people just misunderstood what feminism is, in my opinion. I think people take it as like, for instance, you will see women would just outrageously speaks to the husband and feel like there's no gender role. I mean, everything in this world has a role. Everybody has their role to play in society. As much as I think some men or women are very reckless in how they treat people in general, but I think there's a role and everybody plays their part, even though everybody should contribute to the good of the relationship. But I honestly believe there are roles in relationship, no matter how modern society want to make it looks like.
Yeah,
So
So, so
that's true.
I don't believe it's modern women are the one that are doing that. If you're saying that same society is encouraging same sex is right, but women themselves are at a disadvantage point when we talk
right.
about polygamy life. They are at a serious disadvantage point. Even those days where we would speak of our African tradition, they were still at a disadvantage point. Some women grieved and they grieved but nothing to do. They couldn't do anything. Their parents forced them into the marriage and they cannot, come out of that marriage because those days that chief was the only, hero in that community. So some of them were like forced into that marriage. So yes, it's true. People can do what they want to do, but I want to say for the purpose of this show to be
Mhm.
education.
Yeah.
That in my thinking is education. You can think what to do best for you, since indeed we live in a democratic society. But I want to end up with the point. If we are in here, I don't know. I want
Yeah,
to end up with
we
the
are.
point. I want to end up with the point. Those days, people marry multiple women for different reasons. Like
Mhm.
River said it clearly in his point. People were playing their roles. And he was child back then. He may not know what was the exact role his mom or the other person were playing. And like our sister said, maybe for business purpose, other women may be like doing a good business, and other people may be like maybe paying attention to farming and taking care of kids. A lot of stuff people do, but the best thing to do is you need to be in a place of safety that you can at least live your life a little bit better. The first
Right.
one woman in your house, you cannot do what you're supposed to do, what society requires of that person. So it's just best to live, take the load that you're able to tow. If you think you can tow, how you call it? 250 kg, you can tow that. But I think the best thing to do is to tow the load that you're able to tow, and not to get you to
Yeah.
what you will not be able to, handle. That's how I would like to end with.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anna, what's
Thank
your
you.
partner
Thank you,
say?
Mr. Walker. That's very nice. A nice closing.
Yeah.
I would just like to
Ah,
end by saying
Riverside
that.
Show is coming on, guys.
Yeah, I just want to make my last. I know you. I just been on a run today, man. Just carrying the children from place to place. No time to even
That's
do
good.
anything.
Oh, daddy duty. It's
Leave.
good.
I,
It's good.
I woke up for Anna a little bit. Leave her over there.
Thank
Yeah,
you
but
for thank you for throwing
yeah,
me under the bus. But yeah, you're making some
yeah,
really good points.
but Anna though. I mean, this man. What's the name? You guys were talking about Regina Daniel. You
That was
see,
me.
I think. Yeah, what that guy is a perfect example of the positivity of polygamy. I mean, let's forget about the
Yeah.
age. I know the age people got problem with age, but I know you over there. You married. Let me just make a little example. Look at this man. That's a model husband. The man guy, and look at that girl. I know Regina Dana was making money, but look how her life has transformed. Look how she has
Yeah.
become mature. Look how the man keep her. I will understand if
Hey.
you're in a polygamy relationship and then the man is abusive and your welfare is not met. But if you got a man, and you got your own place, you got your own children, you got your own income, you got he established business for you. Let's look at
I'll
the
take
positive.
it.
Yeah, let's look at the positive aspect of it. I think everybody. I know this modern society. Oh no, I'm not sharing no man. I think that. But if you look at it, what a mother would want for their daughter is what Regina Daniel mother actually right now where that lady is. I don't know, but I will bet my life that woman right now she's satisfied that her daughter is now with some young guy just tossing her
Emotional
here and there.
distress, abuse,
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there are positive aspects of polygamy relationship, but I think and one thing before somebody, I know one thing I noticed and feel of the brother over there was I think when I look in the Muslim people, look, I live in Milwaukee, I live among Somalian people. And before the Somali people, let me tell you, Anna, I live with Yoruba people. Mr. Bodhi, his wife, they have many children, bankers, Sonny, Owolabi, all of them, we all were friends. At one point, I could even speak Yoruba a little bit, And the man had two wives. Mr. Bodhi was, not wealthy, but, he was better off. And he took it, and the children went to St. Patrick's School. Some of them working our government. I will not mention the name, but some of them work in government right now. The children grew up on a go home. I used to go to their house and we played together. That's another perfect example of I think Nigeria gave polygamy a good name as compared to us Liberian. Let me admit. And even when you look at the Somali people from Muslim oriented country, I think they don't see it as a problem as much. I don't want to be too religious in it, but because I live with some Somalian here, and the people that got two women, and the other woman got her children, they cook, they make go there, you eat, and unless because I think the only time it becomes a problem when the police get involved, the police, oh, why you got two women, but once it's not legal on paper, So that's just my point. I think there are positivity to polygamy, though, but I think we are being programmed just to think
There are.
it's bad. Yep.
There
All
are
right.
positivity. We say that.
I,
There are.
I I I love the fact that you're so positive when it comes to this polygamy thing. I'll call your wife. I'll call your wife that you're looking to take a second wife.
Oh, thank God. Hey, thank God. Even at the house, and she's not even watching our thing. I said, I'm not going to sit to the house and get on this show. She will
That
tell me.
was only for you.
I'll
You're
tell her to
here
start
for
checking her phone
it,
because
and
there might be a side chick that's walking her way to enter the house.
Yeah, I think he's giving his honest. He's giving his honest opinion on our issue. I
Yeah.
think so.
So I would like to and I mean I really appreciate the comments you gave River says because They really opened my mind to a lot. When I first joined this, I was pro monogamy, right? Now I've
Yeah.
Mhm.
actually kind of deviated from that. That it should be a personal choice. It should be something that whoever is involving themselves, whether it be the man or the woman, they should make sure that they're in agreement. It's something that they're consenting to. It shouldn't be like they shouldn't be under duress to do it, right? Because again,
Yep.
when you see how beneficial it's going to be for your family, it's going to positively transcend towards your kids and whoever comes into you guys' lives. Just like you mentioned that the family that they had a polygamous home and everybody was good, right? I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
if everybody knows why they're coming into that relationship, would be beneficial to that particular relationship. So I would like to end by saying it should be a choice. And
Yep.
before it happens, every member of that particular union should be in agreement. It shouldn't be a one person going in because they have more money. If you're marrying, you're a man, you have money, and you're going to marry a second or third wife, your other wives should be okay with it, because one, they're going to be sharing you with someone else. Two, I think setting boundaries when you're having such a relationships where everybody knows what to expect and how to behave, to prevent any issues or further issues when you're no longer alive. Hey, put your dad stuff back, please. Then the other thing I would also like to conclude would be to say that this discussion we're having is our opinion. So please, any
Yep.
viewers that are watching, do not take it personally. It's a choice, So if you prefer being in a polygamous home and it fits your boat, please wear the shoe. If it's not something that you agree with, continue to be monogamous. So we're just giving our opinions. So it's up to you to choose where you feel you best fit.
Thank you for
Thank
that,
you.
because I know they were about to come for me.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. That's a great closing.
That's a good
Thank you
question.
very much.
They're about to cancel me.
Eh, But Fee,
Yeah. Yeah.
I let that modern woman turn. I mean, that modern women turn now it may because I always used to use feminists, so at least they will not come after me. When they come after me, I say Fee the one that came up with that nice little modern women thing, so they don't really know when we talk.
What we're talking about is our food.
Yeah. uh,
Oh man, this was really amazing. So the beginning of this show, I was thinking, man, polygamy, monogamy. I've always said no. I don't share, please, whatsoever. But it's a really nice eye opening, to really think about it. The benefits that you could get out of it. I don't know if we should do another show where we share what the benefits are and the non-negotiable non-negotiation of it. I think it
yep.
was a really great one. I don't know what you guys think. We could, but just to expand on it, to talk about, because we didn't really talk about like the positive part of it and the negative. I think we touched on it a little bit, but
You can share a little bit.
I really enjoy this conversation because I think my mind is a little bit all over the place right now, just thinking about it. Like, how could this help, you know, a family? Like, if it's in a really nice, organized way where everybody understand, where somebody don't feel like they're being coerced or like manipulated into something. But yeah, thank you guys so much. But with that being said, I would like to say I think it should be legalized. If we're gonna legalize everything, polygamy should be legalized. I should be able to go to the court and get multiple, marriage license and say, yeah, I'm getting married. So wife one, wife two, wife three, or should we have a limit on that?
Oh, leave it and give it to the female
Unlimited?
as well.
Oh man.
Give it to the female
Wow.
as well.
There shouldn't be words like,
Then
okay, you can
everyone
only
from Africa will be here.
Oh
River says,
You know what?
what's your opinion on that?
We're gonna have part two of this show because
well,
if
oh yeah, yeah,
Anna,
yeah,
you just opened a can of worms.
I want
yeah. Huh?
I want to know your opinion on that for polyandry,
You
whether
get the more the
the
whole time
female
you gotta be
No, no,
impressive.
no. You see,
oh
no. We the men will not accept it. But I mean, it's not like we trying to male dominate. But I mean, you guys just look at the morality of it. At least a
oh my
man with
god.
multiple women. I think as much as but then a little bit considerate. But imagine a woman with multi. Oh no, I don't know, guys. I
It
think
is practice,
yeah.
it is
Why is it not
practice in the
okay? Why
world.
is it not
Why?
okay? Why is it not okay when you're doing it? When we men are doing it. Like when I mean you, I'm not saying you per se, but men do it. If it's okay, the same thing that you do with multiple women is the same thing a woman would do with multiple men. So
Oh
if
Lord,
you find
Emily.
it
Yeah, because
nasty,
and
if you find it nasty with
yeah,
a man, if you
I
find
look
it
at it
nasty
from
with a
the
woman,
feeling, the point of how you feel. I don't want to look at it
exactly,
from that
exactly.
practical side. How you
Yeah,
feel.
me too.
So if you feel as a male, if you feel that going out there and having another female is better, can it be better as well for your wife?
don't say
I'm
can it
looking
be
at
better.
a
It
feeling.
should
I'm
be
not looking at the
better.
morality, whether it's
It should
moral
be
or not.
better, not
If
it can be better. It should be better because
well,
why would you? Well, I'm very passionate
But
about when it comes
oh
to
my
sleeping
god.
around. When he's
Oh
sleeping
For
my
around,
every
if you're
woman.
sleeping around
but
and a woman
uh,
sleeps around, don't be angry. That's how I see it. If you sleep around and your woman also go and sleep around, it should be
no,
okay.
I'm going
Don't
to be
say it
angry.
can't.
Actually, I'm going
There's
to be
no
angry.
oh,
probability. It should be
oh,
the same thing. We're all
okay,
human
Anna,
beings, just different
okay,
gender.
yeah, Anna,
Equality.
yeah, okay, Anna, yeah, I know we're closing now, but okay, Anna, does that does that erase that whole notion that you guys are emotional character, like you guys, when women love, they love emotionally. So how can you? Because we men already say we don't, our is not based on emotion. But how can a woman love more than well? So then, which means you guys are not, because emotionally you can love two or three person at the same time. If you guys are this emotional creature that they already claim you to be, then it wouldn't work with you because you
So
guys emotional. So
so
I
do
don't know.
men, right?
exactly.
Nonsense.
So do
Oh
men.
my god.
Miss Fee, you should open up another conversation about cheating. Cheating is
We're gonna
okay
have a part two. I
amongst
think
men
we
and
should have a
women.
part two.
Yes, because
Yeah.
this is a serious topic and a
It
lot of
is.
women suffer. A man would treat a woman so terribly, and when she goes and cheats, it's a problem. But when he cheats, it's okay. Oh, men are dogs. You should
But you know,
understand.
two wrongs don't
No,
make right though. Two
it's not
wrongs don't make
okay.
So why
right.
would you
Nobody
want to
should be
do the first
cheating.
wrong?
Nobody should be cheating. If you cheat and I cheat, it goes two ways. We are
Why would
all
you
It
go for the
adults.
doesn't
first
solve
wrong?
the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
I know it's a good one. I had a good laugh tonight.
So I
Uh,
think we are in error. So
yeah, thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for watching. Thank you. So the verdict is it should be legalized wherever you want. If you want to be in monogamy or polygamy, what do they call it now? Polyamorous. That one is sexual specifically. Like
yeah, that is not
that
about
one
marriage.
is wild.
That is open. I think polyamory is just about that open relationship.
Yeah, like whoever you
Yeah.
want to bring home or whatsoever. That's
That is
crazy.
it.
The world
That's
is
it.
crazy.
Uh,
Uh,
That's the
but the
one that should be
women,
legalized. So men will not go and be doing rubbish.
we're gonna do a part two of this because I think we need to talk about the more of the benefits of monogamy and the benefits of polyamorous or polygamy, whatever they call it these days. Why
hmm.
people want to do that? I think we should do a part two of this. This was a good one. But yeah, with
Oh
that
yeah,
being
yeah, it
said,
was great.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for all the contribution you did. Shout out to Mr. Raw, he made it on our show today. And thank you, Mr. Walker, for coming. River says first, always great having you on here. Anna, thank you so much for coming in and just making this one of the best show we had so far. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you to all of our viewers. We are done for the weekend. We'll see you guys here again next weekend.
Thank
All
you. Have a
right.
Thank
good
you.
one. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Have
Have
a
a good
good
one.
one. All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye, guys. All right. That's it.